pruning our smoke bush or a smoke tree here in Zone 6 because everything is waking up and I don't want to squish anything. Before I start pruning, I want to think about my goals. So my smoke tree, I'm pruning it to be a multi-trunk tree, and its primary purpose is actually to give us privacy to our front window from everyone who walks by. So that's the goal. You need a little help, dude? My plan of attack is to first start by cleaning up the trunks, and then I'm going to make sure that we're not going to take anyone out in the driveway, whether my husband or a delivery person. And then we're going to see what else needs to get done. So first I'm going to use my hand pruners. I probably need new ones. When you're pruning, you want to make sure that you're nice and flush, as close to the bark or as close to the plant as possible. And you want it to be clean and not broken, because otherwise that makes holes for bugs. While I was in there, I realized I probably just need my loppers. And as I was cleaning up the trunks, which I'm gonna show you close in a little bit, I thought of a few things. When you're pruning, it's the art of what to take off and what to leave. The general rule is that you don't want to take off more than a third. None of us like to be pruned too harshly, and neither do the plants. Granted, the smoke bush is, I think, maybe the most resilient cultivated plant ever. It's pretty incredible. So something to note is that, like, along the bark, I've kind of trained it over the years so that when I cut something off, there really isn't much vigorous growth. But almost anytime you make a cut, you're gonna have an outspray of a whole bunch of new stems. So here you can see a bunch of my old cuts. And here you can see how when you prune something, you get a whole bunch more shoots. And then the new shoots won't actually hold your flower. So as you can see, that's actually got a flower because I wanted to leave them. But if you leave the newer shoots to become old wood so that you can have flowers the following season, you might get them flop to flop. So as you can see, I have this one's completely flopped over, as well as this one's going right across the whole tree. And then we have this one going all the way over there. See how these are crossed? This creates rubbing. What that creates is weakened, it could be create little gaps in the bark, which would allow for disease to fester or bugs to make homes. And it's just general practice to get rid of anything that's rubbing, or get rid of one that's rubbing on the other one. And I think I'm actually going to get rid of both because I have plants that like full sun. My sun, not my sun, but the sun comes right over here, and I need to get rid of stuff that's gonna keep the plants here from getting that full sun that they want. I'm actually gonna remove this one. But if I remove one, this one's gonna be a little weaker. I think I'm actually gonna get rid of this whole thing. And eventually when I get a saw that I really want, or I could pull out our little chainsaw I think I'm gonna get rid of this knob right here. But I have to wait till nap time for that. Oh, this one's going towards the driveway. This one's gonna also be interrupting the driveway. Gotta keep my husband happy. Yeah, Dada's at work. Actually, Dada went golfing today. Yeah, he did. All right, so this one's coming from all the way over here. And we don't need that going through our tree because we want the sunlight to be able to come in. So that might be a little tricky to get to, but there's a will. There's a way. Whether it's this way or the other way. It's this way. That's yeah, that's so cool. And look how neat this is. So especially if you ever have to cut smoke tree branches, like later on in the season, because it gets completely out of control, the branches are really flexible and you can move them around. And I think I saw someone actually made a trellis out of smoke tree branches. I'm gonna have to look into that and let you know. So stay tuned and be sure to subscribe if we ever get to it. All right, this one is broken, so it definitely has to come off. Joe, come on, we gotta go get Sissy. All right, I'm gonna have to take this moment to pause and go pick up my daughter from pre-K. Yeah. Sorry, I'm out of breath. The fourth one's on its way, and boy, oh boy, am I out of breath. Okay, on that note, we will be back. I left, I came back, and when I came back, I realized that I actually really like how the tree is kind of turning out. So I don't want to take off too much because there is going to be plenty of time to address changes that need to happen when things start growing. So the last few changes that I'm going to make are just going to be to take off these little sprawly thingies. I don't even know if sprawly is the right word, but I think you get, I might need the pruners for that one. Oh, no I don't. I can open the garage for you, Joy. Joy, how sticky are your hands? Really sticky? Because you touched the tree? Yeah. Yeah? You're gonna try again? All right, where is it sticky? Everywhere. The smoke tree has a lot of sap, and the sap is really sticky, so you'll definitely want to clean your pruners, and because they will get sticky. And apparently smoke tree is in the family of poison ivy, and I've heard to recommend wear gloves. I maybe do not wear gloves. I am highly allergic to poison ivy, but the sap really doesn't bother me, other than that you get really sticky hands. Just a fun fact. Here's a little close-up on vigorous growth. See how I pruned right here? Looks like either last spring, and actually this probably wasn't last spring. This was probably a branch that was attacking my husband in the based on how little these are. This was probably a late summer cut, because there is 1, 2, 3, 4 brand new shoots that are underneath this cut. So if I wanted to cut, oh, here's another one. Look, I cut here, and underneath we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new shoots. Before I close this video out, just remember, smoke trees are so forgiving. And if you want a single trunk tree, I'm not exactly sure how to do it, but be very careful to not prune, because anytime you prune, you will get many shoots. And if you do want many shoots, some people, what they do, but you then lose all of your flowers, is they will cut all the way down to the ground. They'll just chop all of that off. And you know what? If I did that, I'd be pretty sad that I'd lose this multi-trunk bottom that's absolutely beautiful. But it would still survive, and you would get all of these shoots like this that would be brand new, and they would just shoot up, and it'd be more like a big bushy bush. It would be a big bushy bush instead of a multi-trunk tree. If you found this video helpful, or at least entertaining, please subscribe, and you can see what this beauty looks like throughout the growing season. Have fun.